Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first day of the 4 Days of Love. It's going to be a wax seal workshop. So we're doing 4 days of Valentine Wax Seals. It's going to be so much fun. And I'm so excited to spend some time with you guys today. I love Valentines. And so I'm glad we're going to spend some extra time working on some Valentines and making some Valentine wax seals. So I would love for you guys to add in the chat where you're watching from and your name. I can see we've got a bunch of people here. Let's see. Nancy's here. Welcome. Jackie's here. Marilyn's here. The printables are totally new. I'm going to share the link to today's with everyone. I can see Mary's here. Northwest Arkansas. Love it. Let's see. From Largo, Florida area. Kimmy's here from Michigan. Catherine is here. Catherine is here. We've got Nancy. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. We've got Ginger from Tennessee. Nora's here from Illinois. We've got Nebraska, Texas. We've got all over the state. So I'm so excited. Welcome, everyone. So the first thing that I want to show you really quick is the printable. So each day there's a printable. So I sent this out via email, and I'm going to add the link in here for everyone too. And I might even add it to the text tomorrow, the text reminder, but let me copy this and share it. So here, if you look in the chat, here's the link to the printable. It's free. So you'll just click it and you'll download it, and it's a PDF. So for this is today's printable. We're going to be making framed Valentine seals a few different ways. And so it just has these cute little Valentine images and graphics that we're going to put into a frame seal. So that's what today's is. And this is day 2. We're going to be doing a shaker seal card, which will be fun. This is day 3, the little mini Valentine. And then there was one more, and I actually got 2 copies of this from the printer today. So one is missing. But anyway, each day I'll share what the printable is. So today it's this one. I'm just printing mine on cardstock in color. I've been sending it to FedEx because I needed it really quick. And that's the closest one, but you could send it to your local printer. If you have a printer that works well, you could even do this. You wouldn't have to use cardstock. You could even print this like on regular computer paper, as long as it prints in color well. I think it would work pretty well. So that's what we're going to be using today is this. The other thing that we're going to be doing every day is a little fun deal of the day. So I wanted to show that to you what those are, and I'm going to share the link to it. So it has its own collection on my website. So I'm going to add it here in the chat. So when you click it, that will take you, so it will have today's deals, then it will have tomorrow's, all 4 days. And if there's still product left from day 1 on day 4, you can still buy it then for the deal. We're not going to be combining shipping orders this time. So it'll just be shipped out as you order it. So the first deal is this bow striped stamp. So this was one that I had in the holiday collection, and it did sell out really quickly, and it's been requested to come back, but it's a really good one for Valentine's Day. But if you can see, it's got cute little bows and stripes in it. It's really delicate and really pretty. And so it's 20% off. So instead of $20, it's $16. So it's a great deal if you don't have this stamp already. It's a great one for Valentine's, for the holidays, and honestly, bows are so in. You could use it any time of year. It would be really cute. Just change out the colors. You could make it a spring stamp, a fall stamp, any of that. The other deal of the day is the candy red sealing wax sticks. So these ones are going to be $9 instead of $12. So a little bit more than 20% off on these. So that's the deals of the day. So I added the link. If you want to go grab those, you can grab them. I'll send it out via email later today as well. So let me show you what I've got with my setup today. So I'm going to be using just this one sheet, just this, for the printable. So I have that. I also have a cutting mat that I'm going to be using. My surface I have is just parchment paper for right now. And I've got some sealing wax heating up. So I've got metallic red and I'm using a low temp glue gun, except look, it's on high. That's what happens when you leave them like rummaging in a bin. I didn't want them on high. This one's peony pink. And then I've got crystal clear hot glue sticks. AdTech brand is my favorite. So that's what I'm using for those. And then I've got all my frame stamps. So I just grabbed a bunch. So let me show you. So frame stamps, if you're not familiar, I'm like, I better not drag them all over the printable just in case I don't want them to get the printable dirty. But frame stamps are really fun. I just had a restock of these and I have more coming actually today that I'm restocking. So these are a bunch of mine. I've had all of them for a long time, but they're frame stamps because there's an engraving that's a frame and then there's a blank part in the middle. So that blank part is really fun. I love doing pressed flower seals with these, but it's going to be really fun to do this with our printable because then the little Valentine graphic or illustration will show through. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're like, I don't have a frame stamp, then hopefully you have a blank stamp because you can get a very similar effect just using a blank stamp. So if you don't have a frame stamp, grab some of these and you can use these as an alternate. So I'm going to set those aside. The other things I have, of course, is I have some more sealing wax for when I run out. So these are both from my shop. They're the same size as it goes in a regular glue gun, not a mini. And then other things that we are probably going to be using, I've got this precision Gorilla Glue along with some little nail charms that are Valentine's themed. We use these in the workshop, but I grabbed these because it's just like another idea for frame seals. And then the last thing that I was thinking we could try if there's time is I have these new Posca markers. Posca, I think that's how you say it. But anyway, they're just paint markers that I wanted to try on the frames as well that I think would be really fun. So that's what I've got today. If you have questions, type question before your question, and I'll try to get to your questions as I'm going through. I'll try to keep my eye on them. So I'm going to make myself smaller so that you have more space to see, and we're going to get started. So I already did go ahead and I did make some frames out of sealing wax, and I'm going to make a few with you, but this way we've got a few done ahead of time. But one thing that I was noticing when I was doing this is I did have some different temperatures of sealing wax. So I had this pink was very hot versus this pink was like barely warm enough to make a seal. And so I don't know if you can tell, but you can see this one, how thin it is versus this one. You see how this darker pink is way thicker, and that actually makes it harder to cut out. So in this instance, for what we're doing here, we're actually going to want to have our wax a little bit on the warm side because then we'll get a more flat seal and it will be easier to cut. So that's what I would recommend doing. So I had 2 colors were thinner, warmer, and 2 were not. And so some were easier to cut than others. So I'm not going to use these yet. We will, but I'm going to go ahead and grab a few. So for frame seals, you could totally do these, and we will, just with hot glue without making a colored frame. But I think because it's Valentine's, it'll be really fun to do some Valentine colored frames. So the first step of the process is we have to make little frames like this. So when you're looking at your frame stamps, some are going to be easier to cut out than others. So for example, this one is just like just square, super easy. This one's pretty simple, but when you get into ones like this or this, it's a little bit more time consuming to cut out with your X-Acto knife. So just be aware of that. That if you're like in the mood to be cutting a lot and take more time, then do these ones. Or if you're like, I need this to be quick, then choose more simple ones that'll be quicker to cut out. So I think I'll do a simple one and a not as simple one, a kind of an in-between. So I've got my wax heating up here. And so I'm going to do this one in red. So when I'm pouring my sealing wax out, I want to have it as close as I can to the parchment paper. And I'm just going to do it kind of like the same shape. And I need another sealing wax stick already. I'm not concerned about bubbles right now. I'm not concerned about the edge of the seal because I'm cutting it all off. But I do want this to be a little bit on the warm side so it will be a flatter seal and easier to cut. This one's the peony pink, so we'll do it with this one. So I'm just going to go kind of make an oval shape because we're doing a rectangle. And then press. And then we're going to let it cool. Let's do one more while we're waiting. We'll try this one. This one's a cute one from the Valentine's collection that has little hearts around the edge. So I think this one will be fun. So this wax could definitely be warmer. You can see it's holding its shape. It doesn't have any bubbles, which is fine. We're going to use it. But ideally, more hot wax is going to be best. So at this point, I'm going to unplug my sealing wax, but I do have my crystal clear hot glue still plugged in. So let's see. I can see a bunch of people joined us. We've got Tammy and Beth. Welcome. Catherine asked, what did you say the red wax was? So this one that I'm using is metallic red. So it's a really pretty, I love it for Valentine's and the holidays. It's just a really great red because it's really rich, deep, and metallic, which is fun. Okay. So these take anywhere 30 to 60 seconds to cool. And so I can start to pull it up. If you do start to pull it up when you're working on parchment paper or a silicone mat and it sticks and you can't get it up, just let it cool more. Because if you keep pulling it, it's going to tear the wax and it's not fully cooled. This one came up. You can also feel the back to feel how warm it is because sometimes it will just really stick. So that one came right off. But my stamp is pretty warm now. So if I was going to be making, if I had one frame stamp and I want to make 20 of these, I need to put this on an ice pack. So I do have an ice pack here, right here. So I can just put this right there. So if you're doing more than like 3 wax seals, put your stamp on an ice pack. And if you're using, or if you're using hot glue, anytime we use hot glue, we want the stamps on an ice pack. The next step is cutting out the frame and then we'll be putting it into hot glue. So we do want to, so this one is kind of sticking a little bit. The frame part is coming off, but the inside's sticking. So I'm just going to leave it. So if I just leave it like that, and that one came off, but you can you see my finger through there? It's pretty thin, which is good, easy for cutting. And I'm going to put this on the ice pack as well. I'm actually going to put, because I had pre-done a lot of these frames, I'm going to just put several of them on there so that they're ready to go. Okay, next step is we got to cut out the color. So what I like to do for this, I like to start with scissors. So I'll work my way around. Just with the scissors. And so it's not looking amazing yet, but I just basically want to cut this really thick part off with the scissors. And the same here, I'm not trying to go for neatness. You probably could cut this one just with scissors, but I like to just get the edge off all the way. And then I'll go from there. Let's check this one. All these little pieces you can remelt in your spoon. Just set those to the side. So let's check this. So it came off. So it just needed a little bit more time to cool. So instead of forcing it off, just let it cool longer and then you won't ruin the seal. Okay. So then this one's pretty easy. We can probably cut it just right to the edge with the scissors because it's just a straight cut. So we'll go all the way around. And then we're left with our cute little frame. this one I think I will just do with scissors and just get close to the edge. Just do kind of a finer trim. And the other one I will need to get my X-Acto knife out for. Well, in the inside of the frames, I use an X-Acto knife too, so I'll also need that. Let me know how your weekend was. Let me know what you guys did this weekend. It's Monday, Valentine's week. Okay, so now we've got these. So now we can get our X-Acto knife to cut out the middles and clean up that other one. So we'll grab this. And I'm gonna grab, let me kind of get organized here. Get my stuff moved out of the way a little bit. I can't find all my heart stamps. They're probably, did you put them in a special spot? Did metallic red restock? I'm not sure about that. Nope, that one's out. The candy red is in though. There's not, I don't have more sealing wax coming today, but I have more stamps coming today. I traveled all day on Saturday and Sunday morning from Hawaii. Oh, welcome back, Shauna. Just relaxed. I love a weekend like that. Great weekend. We went to a candlelight concert featuring Adele. That's awesome. That sounds fun. Okay, so for this one, we can cut out this section. So I'll just do just 4 cuts. So this is the square ones or rectangles are definitely the easiest to cut. And then you pull it out, and now you're left with just the frame in the sealing wax color that you did. So we're doing Valentine's today, but you could do this with any time of year, any type of sealing wax, and do, you know, a fun paper or whatever your theme is in the frame, and it could be really cute. I've never done flower frame seals with colored sealing wax. I think I did it with white. And I've attempted black, but I didn't finish them. I still need to finish them, but I think that could be really fun too. So there's that one. That one's cute. So this one we need to fix and go around the edge. And then, and honestly, I'm not being, you could be very super detailed, but let me show you. Like I'm getting close, but it's not like super, super exact, you know, it's the general shape. So you could spend a lot more time on this part. I don't really, it's kind of like good enough is for me, you know? Just get close to. Okay, I think I got it all. So now I just need to cut out the middle. So just kind of work your way around. So this is the part where it's like, yeah, having thinner sealing wax is really helpful because it just is less work on you and like less pressure. Doesn't bother your hand as much. And then we've got our cute little frame. Okay. Are there any type of scissors that can be used to cut wax seals? I would just say your sharpest scissors you have are going to be great. I use these. This one was like in a pack of 3 at Costco. So these are the sharpest ones I have. So that's what I've used. I also have used in the past embroidery scissors. These ones aren't very sharp anymore, but I do like how pointed they are. You can kind of get into really close little areas with these. So, but mine are not really very sharp. So I kind of moved to the bigger ones now. How often do you change your blade? This one I got, let's see. I got this one in November and I haven't changed it yet. So November, like 3-4 months. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on how much you use it, but mine's still pretty sharp 3 months in, and I use it pretty regularly. I feel like the wax, I don't know if this is true, but it seems like it doesn't dull the blade as much as paper does wax. It seems like it's easier for it to cut. Okay, I think I got the questions. Okay, so let's take these now that we've got those done. And now the fun part. Are we gonna do it on the printable? Okay, so I did several different types, kind of like some that are patterns, some that are like floral. So you can kind of just see and decide which one kind of fits well. You can see this one, that's not a good example, but this one does fit, but it's kind of tall. So you may have some frame stamps where it doesn't maybe fit the square, but I think most of them, even that one, this one's my biggest one and it still fits it. So most of them should fit with the square, the frame stamps you have. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to do the hot glue. So we want to take our stamp. So this has been sitting on the ice pack. Sometimes this happens where it gets like a little frozen bit of ice, which is fine. But we do want to clean that off. So I'm going to dry it. The other thing that you can do is put ice pack paper towel then your stamps to try to reduce that condensation a little bit. But now it's cold but dry. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to stick it back in here and I'm going to press it in. And one thing about these, usually when you put something in like this, when it's cold, it won't stick. But it usually sticks pretty good with these because they're frame stamps, so they're kind of more detailed in the engravings. But see how it just popped out? So we may have to see if we can get it in all the way. It might come out a little bit. So maybe we'll set that one for a second and we'll try this one. So that one will be cold, but not as cold because I'm not keeping it on the ice pack. Where do I get the printable? Let me share the link again. So this is the day one printable. Each day there's going to be a new PDF. So just click it and then download it. And then you'll be good to go. Okay. One thing, I did choose simple sills, but ones like this that are really deep and ornate engravings, the wax doesn't come out of it because it just grabs onto it. You know what I mean? Where this one, let's see, that one's holding good. So let's try, we'll just start in the first one. And so I'm going to use my hot glue. And I'm going to pour it into, oh, wait, hold on. I'm like, is this warm? It's been plugged in for a while. It's not warm enough. All right, well, we gotta take a break. So sometimes, this doesn't usually happen to me, but I've had this plugged in for the last like 5+ minutes and it's still not like warm enough to come out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch it up to high for just a couple minutes to really get it going, and then I'm gonna put it back down to low. Okay. Spellbinders has great small detail scissors. I got mine on Amazon. That's a great tip. I can't, for the person asking for scissors, there you go. Okay, well, now let's wait just a split second. And I'm like, I think this will stay cold enough. We'll see. And I'm going to see if I can get the hot glue out of the work surface. Okay. Let's try. Man, okay, I think I am going to pop this back on the ice pack because if it's not cold, it will definitely stick to the glue. So let's pop that back on a second. Let's get out some of the Posca markers and get those ready for the next ones we're going to do. So this is a set I bought, and I'm excited to try them because they have like a fine tip. So there's a red. They are they're pretty bright, a little brighter than what we're working with today. Like this is really quite a hot pink. So I don't know if I want to use that one. but maybe. This one's kind of more like peachy. That could be cute. So let's try these. We'll get these pens ready and then we should be able to use it. Will we be able to watch later? Yes. So this will just be posted. It'll be posted on Facebook for only 30 days, but on YouTube, it'll be available indefinitely. So you can always come back to it to reference or watch later. Does it matter on type of paper, cardstock or just copy paper? I'm using cardstock. I think that adds a nice thickness to the seal, but if you don't have that, you could totally use just copy paper, and I think it would work great. Cutter bee are really good scissors. I've had mine well over 20 years. Another great tip on the scissors. I love it. Okay, so let's just get these pens ready while our hot glue is warming up a bit. I'm like, it is plugged in. The light's on. So I'm like, I know it's plugged in. I'm not going crazy. So these ones are kind of fun because the tip is really tiny compared to the only other one I've used. I guess this is not Posca. I was thinking this was the same brand. They're different. This was the one I've used before, Deco Color. That's red. So we're in new territory today. So I'm going to shake it a little bit. Oh, whoa. Okay, I was not expecting it to come out that fast. Usually with like the gold paint pen, you really have to really pump it for a while, but that came out really fast. Okay, well, that one's ready. I was like really surprised by that. Okay, well, oh, yeah, these are like ready to go. Okay. I feel like normally when I try paint pens, it takes forever to get them to come out. Whoops. So, oh. Okay. Well, those are our three colors. I feel like these two kind of better match the tones of what we're doing, but it'll be fun to see these different ones. So we've got our pens ready. Let's take a look at this hot glue and just see it's workable. It's a little bit stiff, but I think we can make it work. So I'm going to grab this back off the ice pack and dry it off again. Okay. And then I'm going to grab the frame that I cut out and I'm going to stick it in and I'm going to kind of try to hold it in there. And I think I'm actually going to cut out some of these because I put that hot glue there. So I just need to do a quick little cut here. There. Now we've got a little easier to fit on camera with just a smaller amount. So I'm going to pour onto this one is the one I'm going to use. Here we go. Now it's working. It does have a lot of bubbles, so I'm going to switch it back to low. I'm going to make sure I'm good, and then I'm going to press. And I've got to let it cool. So something I'm noticing, I turned it up to, so it would be faster for us, right? But I don't know if you guys can see this. There's a little line here. That's the pink wax. And so hopefully it stayed, there's enough wax in the frame part, but that can happen because anytime sealing wax is going to touch hot glue, the hot glue is hot, it's just going to remelt the wax, right? So I think it'll be fine, but just know that may happen. So let's see if we can do another. So we'll go back to try this one. I'm just going to dry it off. And I'm thinking maybe this flower one would be cute for this one. I'm worried that's not enough. I'm going to just put a little bit more just to make sure. And I'm not worried that I already poured that because it's so hot. So I'm not going to stress out about that. Okay. And that was a red frame and it's a red background. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but it's fine. But that's something to like be keeping in mind. Let's try this one. And I'm going to put more of my stamps onto the ice pack so we can do a few more. So I've got several ready to go. Get more of those a little cold. So we'll do this one next. This one I think would be cute on the Love You. So I'm going to put the frame in. And this one you got to try to get it positioned in the right spot. So now it is. I love making seals like this. It's especially fun when you design your own patterns or even seal little handwritten notes. Yeah, I love that idea. And that's true. Like you could totally just do like your own little drawing or illustration. That could be what the base is. But you could really use anything. The other day, and if the person's here who did this in the wax, I think it was the Wax Seal Club, my box subscription, someone shared that they used napkins as the base for this technique with hot glue seals. And I was like, that's such a great idea because there are napkins that are super decorative and pretty that could be really fun. So there's lots of options for things like that. So I'm going to do this little ruffled heart. And then I'm going to put the frame in. And there's some little hot glue string right there. So I'm going to try to get that off a little bit. Oh. I'm not worrying about the edges of these because I'm cutting it off, right? So let's take a look at this one. This one's the one we did the first. So you can see, where's my little tool to use as a pointer? So it did get some of the wax here, but I think it's going to be fine because we're cutting that off. So I think it's going to be fine. It's a little bit off-centered of the pattern, but I think that will be okay. We can try this one now. That one's pretty close to center and fun, red on red. That one's not, that's off-centered, but still cute. We'll keep it still. Same thing, this one kind of spread the wax. This one did too. So that's just normal, but we're cutting it off, so it's not really a big deal. Let's see if that one came off too. So from here, the next step is more cutting. Let me put these to this. I'm actually going to put all these back on the ice pack. So this is one type of the sills. So let's finish cutting these out. And I will say it is harder to cut now because now we've got a layer of glue and paper. But I still like to do the same thing where I'm getting kind of the edge off, the thickest part, and then I'll come back again. So now this is, I wish I would have gotten it centered, but I think it's so cute. So now I'm going to come in and just go around the frame part. So I'm keeping the sealing wax. I'm cutting off all that hot glue, so I don't need it. And just go all the way around and we'll have our cute little seal. So these I think are so cute just to use as a seal, but another fun idea is you can just put a magnet on the back of this and then it could be some cute little Valentine's magnets. But I think they're so fun. You can see when we look at the side, you can see the sealing wax and hot glue in the paper. And the paper, because it is cardstock, it does add some thickness and stability, which is nice. So I do like that. Let's try this one. So same thing. We'll kind of cut the thickest part off and then come back and hot glue is sticky. So it kind of sticks to your scissors. I would much rather cut sealing wax than hot glue, but I will say I think hot glue is easier for me to cut with scissors. when I try to cut it with an X-Acto knife, it's kind of challenging because it's so sticky. Is there a way to start from the beginning? Well, this is all recorded, so you can go back and watch from the whole thing. And that's Susan questions too. Go back and rewatch. Yes. So you can go back and it'll be posted on Facebook. It only keeps lives for 30 days, but on YouTube, it'll just be there indefinitely. You'll just want to go to the lives tab on my YouTube channel. And then that way it'll just be there for you to reference back. And I don't have the product links, like the things I'm using links in there yet, but I do plan to add that so that you'll be able to find the things that I'm using. How cute is this one? I love it. I love that one so much because it's heart-shaped. Okay, these are way cute. I'm so glad we did this. This is one of those things that I've been like wanting to do and hadn't, and so I'm so glad we're doing it this week. So this one, because it's square, is just so easy to cut out. So if you don't have a square or rectangle one that's straight, it's a great one to add to your collection. That one's still really cute too. They're like little framed artworks. Okay, let's do this last one. Can't download the file. Check maybe, because I'd sent it out via email yesterday and I'll send it out again today, but I'm wondering if it's because it's like in the chat, if that has something to do with it, or maybe copy it and then paste it into a new like browser page. That might do it. Okay, so this one is a little more of a finicky frame, so it's gonna take a little patience. But yeah, this one would be cuter with a light pink frame. I should have been paying attention more to the color I was pressing it on, but I was thinking more about the shape. So when you're doing it, you're going to want to think about the shape of the frame with what the design is and if it works well, and then also the color. And I didn't really address the color on this one. So this one we're just going to go. So yeah, just having those sharp scissors is really helpful with this. Okay. So then we've got that mostly done. So you can see it just has like the paper backing and then on the front. So that is one way we could do frame seals. Let's try making a few just with hot glue, and we can use these paint pens to color the frame to try that. Will the other 3 workshops be at the same time as day? So the plan, it's 1:30 on Wednesday and Thursday, and it's 11:30 on Friday. So if you check, I hope you guys get the emails, but I had sent out an email, but I'll send out more emails of like reminders. But yeah, that one is my kids get out of school early on Friday, so I can't, I want to do it before they're home, basically is the idea. Okay, so let's try a new frame stamp. So this one's nice and cold, and we're just gonna do these with hot glue. But again, we're still gonna use so I just cut off some more of these. So now we've got some more options. This one's really rectangular, and so I'm kind of wondering maybe the flower one will be best, because it will definitely cut some of it off. But I'm just gonna go over this with my sealing wax. I mean my hot glue, sorry. And I want to make sure I have enough that it will fully go into the corners of the frame. And then press. Let's find a few. I'm trying to look for ones I hadn't used yet. I haven't used this. Well, let's try this one. Well, this one's tiny. I'm like trying to find ones that are good. This one will be good. This one's nice and big. So this will be a good one to try. I'm just going to dry it off. Do you think we can get that bow centered? Shall we try? I need another hot glue stick. Okay. We'll pour that on. Thank you so much. Greets from Switzerland. Hello. That's so fun. I feel like we mostly have people from the US with us today with the time and everything. So here's an example. So this one, see how I missed the corner a little bit? It's going to be fine, but that's why we want to just make sure, especially on the square ones, it's easy to kind of miss the corner because we don't have quite enough. So I kind of missed it. And it was also based on like my placement. So a little bit more hot glue would have been ideal for that. Let's see. Let's try, I hadn't done this one yet. Oh, I had grabbed that one, but it's kind of small. Let's try this one with the heart border. Maybe we'll try this little one with mail. And I'm going to do a little more so I don't not have any room. There we go. Plenty. So we got to let that cool a little bit. And then the last ones that I wanted to do are actually, we don't even need the printable. We can just do some frame ones. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, we have used this one, but I'm going to use it again. So I'm just going to do this. Well, hold on. I'll do a few. So I'm going to do one that's just hot glue. So we'll try this. And then I need to find one that I've got a frame for. So like this one, I've got the frame for it already. So then I'm going to go ahead and do just a hot glue seal. This has been on the ice pack, so it's cold. And I'm going to press down hard so I can get the corners. And I did get all the corners on that one. Let's see what other ones. I have one for this one in a light pink. So make sure that's dry. I think we'll do one more after this. So we're just doing a few different variety here of frame seals. So we've got that one. Trying to see which other one I have. I have this stamp. I think I want to try that one. How cute is that? So I'm going to put that back on the ice pack. So that one came off. How cute. This is the one we did next. Hot glue gets all those little strings everywhere. So there's that one. So that one, it didn't quite fit. It's still cute. It's still fine. That one's fun. Okay, so there's those three. And then I'm like, where did I put my scissors? I'm losing them. Okay, let me know if you're already ready for Valentine's Day. Like if you've already made a Valentine's, sent Valentine's. I have made lots of Valentine's crafts, but I haven't specifically like put my family's names on them yet. So I need to get that figured out. My boys are going to make their Valentine's today and tomorrow, which will be really fun. I always really like that at school, like doing a Valentine's box, and it was just really fun. Haven't even started, and no, well, this is perfect. So it's giving you some ideas this week. You can just use what we're doing this week for your Valentine's. I do have to say, Catherine sent me a really nice Valentine, and I'm going to share it in my stories later, but that was very nice, Catherine. So that was fun. And it had a wax seal on it. So ready for Valentine's and Galentine's. We'll be making sweets soon. Okay, let us know what you make. Almost done with handmade cards, and today worked on wax seals for the cards. I love it. I need to shop for the nibblings, but I've got cards purchased to send out for some friends. I love it. Yeah, Valentine's is just a fun holiday. Okay. This one's getting a little finicky. I think this is the last side. I kind of lost track which side I was on. Or maybe this one is. I can get a little more off that side. But there's that. So now we've got hot glue and we're going to try adding the paint. And again, this is my first time actually using these pens. So we will see if it turns out good or maybe it won't. We'll have to wait and see. You know what I just realized? I was pressing these and I was like, oh, I have the frame for them, but I needed to put the frame in before I did it. So these ones will all just have to be painted, which is fine. But that's the type of seal those are going to be. So let me put these back on the ice pack one more time. And let's finish cutting this one. I'm thinking just getting the big chunks off and then work the way around. Do the paint pens have a strong scent? I'll let you know once I get started with them because I didn't notice right away, which is a good sign because I'm pretty aware of, like, I don't like some pens and paints because of the smell. So I'll let you know once we get going. Apparently not many people on here right now have ADHD. I'm sure not everyone has them all ready to go. There's a lot of us who don't. I don't have mine ready, so don't worry. Okay. Just kind of trim up the edges to keep it nice and clean. And that's what we're left with. So just want to get all these little pieces out of the way, and let's try coloring one. So I am going to get a paper towel to put underneath. Is Crazy Love and going to be restocked in the doily stamp? Yes to both. So the Valentine's collection was supposed to be restocked as of today, but it's not here. So it's like a general website restock. So the doily one actually may be a part of it. But the Valentine one, I don't have an arrival date anymore. Things are very delayed right now, which is not great for Valentine's, but it will be coming eventually. Okay, so we're going to try the red pen. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, I hope. Okay, I love how fine of a pen this is. I'm not going to do this, but if I wanted to, look, I can go over just this little, like the detail of the frame, and I can get just that because this pen is so fine. It's very fun. I don't think I want to do that. I think we should do the whole thing. So we'll go. Let me see. The smell, it does have a little smell, but it's not super strong. It's not as strong as the Deco Color ones that I was using before. They're red. But I can smell it a little bit, but it's not making me feel like I'm going to have a headache in 2 seconds. I'm not used to working with such a fine tip. This is going to be fun. I feel like you could even draw on like the edge of a sill with this because it's such a fine tip. Like you could draw flowers or something. So this is definitely taking a little bit longer because it is a fine tip, but that's okay. So that's how it's looking so far. But for me, I always like to get the edge too. So the whole thing looks, I feel like that helps it look more finished if the edge is also red. So I just got these on Amazon. I'll have to share the link when I post this video. So you'll have to come back if you wanted to try these. They have different sets, like a different, like they have some that are less amount of pens. The ones I got has like 30 or 21 pens. So it has quite a few. So that's how it's looking. Um, I like it. So I think this is great because you can get a similar effect, right? A colored frame, but in a different way. And so I think it's great to know your options, to know what you want to do. So I'm going to let this, well, actually, I think I can do one more side. Um, let's see. Deco colors, pens are oil-based, always more smelly. Yes, that makes sense because except I don't really notice the Krylon being too smelly. But yeah, these ones is the one I've used before, and it did work well, but it was very smelly. And these ones, it's not bothering me at all. Do you ever use a paintbrush? I don't. Well, I have. So there's a paint called Tester's paint that's used for like cars, like I'm trying to think of the name. Not miniature cars, like model cars, I think. Um but anyway, that paint is also really smelly, and so I've only done it a handful of times. I really like it, and I like the idea of painting sills, but I haven't been able to get past the smell of it. Like like for those, I wear a mask when I'm doing it because I just can't handle it. So, but there might be other paints that aren't as smelly that would also work well. But you can definitely, the other thing I will say I have done is I have like gotten when I've used my gold, this my favorite gold pen. I've gotten a bunch of it onto like a plastic lid so that it won't soak in, and then I'll use a paintbrush to grab some and then paint. And so it does work that way. I mailed Valentine's to my niece and nephew in Australia more than a week ago. Well, that makes sense because if you're sending it to Australia, you definitely would have to be ahead of the game a little bit to get it there in time, right? Okay, so let's try this color. And yeah, the size 0.77 or zero point 0.7 millimeters. Let me double check on the box. Yes, you guys are correct. So that's the size, 0.7 millimeter. So that's what the box looks like. So yeah, but I think they have a bunch of different ones too. Do the markers bleed or stain hands? Well, I think if I were to touch it now, it would probably get on me. But the other thing that's interesting about this is it's drying almost like a matte, like not shiny, which is kind of cool. We'll see how it goes out. But I think it will just wash off. I'm not exactly sure though. This one, I'm like, can I do just the heart? Nope. So yeah, this one I feel like these are going to be great detail pens for large areas like the rim of the sill. Would maybe you want a bigger size? Maybe. Um, but I'm liking that they're going on, and once they dry completely, we can kind of test how well they'll stay on. But I feel like this could be really fun for like a seal that has design there. You could have some fun with adding the color to it. And I'm trying to kind of use the edge of the marker a little bit. So before I get too much farther, I'm going to try to do the edge like that. I think I got most of it. So that's how it's looking. I think it's cute. Yeah, it definitely, it's more of a detail mark. I'm just so used to using such a humongous marker tip on the edge of my sills. I'm not used to something tiny, but it does work. There we go. So I'm just going to set it down. And this one, looking pretty dry that I'm like, I think I can handle it to do the last color. Let's see. Can you ever leave a stamp on the hot glue or wax too long? No. I think it'll just, yeah, it'll just be on there, but you could just pull it off whenever. I don't think there would be any issue with it being on there for too long. I've left some, like, when I've been, if I'm filming something and I need it to cool down, I'll go pick up my kids from school while it's cooling, and then I'll come back. So that's like 20, 30 minutes, and then usually just comes right off. So I don't think there'd be an issue with that. I think these are going to be cute. I love the idea of doing these colors of frame for Valentine's Day, especially. Cute. So let's let this dry. I'm just trying to see like how it's not coming off. So that's good. Another thing that we should test, I don't really want to do it on one of the frames per se. Maybe we could try it on this frame. I'm just wondering if we could do how well it goes on sealing wax, because it's going onto hot glue just fine. So let's do a little test and see. Let's do a hot glue. Let's make this seal and then we'll try paint just on the edge and see. So let's see. I think I want to do one that's like a patterned one, maybe this one. So we'll put this in. And my hot glue is still going strong, but it's on low now. So, okay, so press this in. Okay, and we'll leave that there. I'm trying to think what oh yes. So the other ones that I just wanted to try was with the little gems. But I wanted them to be, I forgot I needed to put these in first. So let's try that. Let's see, try this one. I don't have that one. Sorry, I'm like trying to see which frames I already had cut out. So if I take this one and I can look at my little nail charms. I think nail charms are so fun to add to wax seals. I have some little paper hearts in here too that were I think that's mostly what I've got in there. I've got bows and these two types of little hearts. So I don't need all of that out. Is the wax frame staying in the sill because it's a bit wet? I feel like I need to warm the sill for the wax to stick. No, I wouldn't say it's because it's wet. I think it's because it's more of like a ornate engraving, so that helps it to stick. This one doesn't stick as well as the others, where like this one, let me see if I can find it. See how deep this one is? This one it'll just grab onto it. Doesn't matter hot or cold. Like it's just in and it's not going anywhere because how deep and intricate the engravings are. Where this one's not quite as intricate, so if you were here at the beginning, it did kind of pop out a little bit on me, but it doesn't have to be warm. But like having something like a big heart, that one will just pop out. That's usually what happens. Okay, so let's try this. I'm wondering which maybe this one will fit. Oh yeah, that one will fit perfect in there. I think this one will be good for the bow. So let's try it. So we've got the sealing wax in here. And can you add the link for the charms? Yeah, I'm gonna, after I post the video, I'm gonna go back. I didn't add the description of the video or anything yet, so I'll go back and add that with the links and everything on the YouTube video, so then you can find the links to everything. Okay, so now I have this one, so you gotta dry it off and put that in, kind of press it in, and it's sticking pretty well. And then let's go right here and pour, and we'll press this in. Okay, let's check. That one's not going to be ready yet. In the meantime, these are totally dried now. So they aren't shiny. I was kind of expecting them to be a little shiny. They look almost like chalky, which is fine. But they're not really rubbing off or anything, so that's good. But we can just really quick just test. It does kind of bead up on sealing wax. You can see this. So that's also good to know. It's sticking, but it's not as good as it is on hot glue. So it kind of beat it up a little bit. So that's just good to know. Okay, let's try this one. So now we've got just the frame with nothing there. So a clear background. So let's cut this one out. Does the red dry fast? It did dry pretty quickly. I wouldn't say it was too long, within 5 minutes or so, which is pretty good. Hi Barb, welcome. Okay, so let's cut this one out now. It's a little easier because there's no paper on it, the back. Okay, so we've got this one. That one, okay, so this one just came off here, but the hot glue didn't come off. It'll come off if I pull it, but I could have let it cool a little more. And then we'll go around the edge. These straight ones are so my favorite. They're just so easy to cut and really pretty. So if you don't have one like this, you need to add it to your list. So let's just trim this one a little better, and then we'll add the little charms, and we can kind of, I want to hear your favorites from the ones we've made today. Oh, the ones I didn't do were blank ones, so I think I'll also really quickly show you those as well. What to do if you don't have a frame seal, how you can get a similar effect. So I'm going to take, I've got these two blanks, so blank oval and a blank round. So I'm just going to pop these onto my ice pack really quick. So now I've got these little frames. This one I think will be so cute with the little heart, like so. And this one I'm thinking the bow just goes in the middle. So for this, I'm going to use my Micro Precision Gorilla Glue. This one's my favorite. And I am going to just clean this off. And then I don't need a lot, so I'm going to just try to do just 2 little dots. You want enough that it's going to hold, but not enough that you've got glue everywhere. So it's kind of like a balancing act. I'm like, I need a little tool. gonna help me with this. So this glue takes like 20 to 30 minutes to dry. I usually just leave them overnight before I touch them. But then it's like this. So that's really cute. And it's a little three-dimensional, which is fun. But we did these in the Script and Seal Society for Halloween. We made some, and they were so cute. So you could do them for any time of year. There's all different types of nail gems that you can use that would work for this. Okay, and then I'm going to add that. And the glue is clear, but ideally you don't have a ton of it. There we go. How cute. So that's another idea, another way to do a frame seal. I saw there was a question. Can you rub the Posca marker with a damp paper towel and see if the color rubs off? Yes. I'm not going to do it on the one that I already finished because I don't want to have to refinish them. But let's take this one and try it. So we'll get this going so it can dry. And let's also try it on this smooth area to see if like smooth versus not smooth makes a difference. But that's a great question. Let's see, test how permanent it is. Water will activate acrylic. It will come off, but try it. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Okay, so let's quickly just do, we're going to do, oh, there was this one here too. How cute. So that one was a framed one. So if we don't have a frame stamp and to try to get a similar effect, you can just use a blank. So we would just go in with hot glue. And I think I need another hot glue stick. See if I have one close by. I usually have a bag of them. Trying to see where they're at. There we are. Got one. Okay. So let's see if we can get this centered. There we go. And let's do one more. Let's do the oval. I'm kind of thinking to like move my stuff out of the way. Kind of thinking this one. Because it's a little more oblong. This one, I think it might be a little long for these papers. I think we're going to see that show up in there, but that's okay. So we can cut these ones off. While that's cooling, and then let's cut this one out as well. But you can use anything as the background. It doesn't have to be Valentine's per se, which is what makes it so fun. Well, I think we got to wait for that to cool. So I think we'll have time to cut this one out, and then we'll compare and see which ones we like. Yeah, it's definitely easier to cut through just the hot glue and sealing wax. When the paper is added, it does make it quite a bit thicker. So we've got the edge mostly done, so then we'll just kind of go in and try to get close where we can. And there we go. I think that turned out so cute. I kind of love these, they're just little patterns, but they look really cute and fun. So there's that one. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And pull this off. Closer to centered, not quite centered, but closer. And we can go around. So if we had used like a solid paper, like a Valentine scrapbooking paper, we wouldn't have these white edges, and then we could just leave it as is. But because we kind of have these funny, some parts have red and some don't, I think we should color it. Versus just leaving it. And you know my go-to is gold, but I want to do all Valentine's colors today. So I think we'll color it. Let me know, what do you think? I'm thinking these two colors kind of go the best with the other color scheme. So the pink or the red for the frame on that one. And that's this one. Yeah, not ideal that this is showing. I think we could still use it, but it's going to have that white line because it's on both sides. Maybe it's okay. Let's take a look. Once we cut it, maybe that will help determine if it looks good or not. It is nice that the hot glue wasn't too hot, so we have a nice edge, because this one we're not cutting the edge off, we're going to keep it. And we just want to get as close as we can with the paper, but it's still going to kind of be there. And it kind of sticks to the scissors. What does the crown and number indicate by the name, by some names? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, are you talking about like here on Instagram? Not on Instagram, on YouTube. I don't know what it means actually. I'm not sure. Does it matter what kind of hot glue sticks to use? Yes. So the brand I use is Crystal Clear. So I buy these in bulk. I sell them in my online shop, but that's the brand AdTech, and Crystal Clear is my personal favorite. You could try with any hot glue, but you're gonna have better results with something that's crystal clear. Okay, let's see, red. All right, you're the only person that said a color, so we're gonna go with red on this one at least. So let's try it. Let's see. I'm gonna be red on red. So this is definitely takes a while more than a larger pen would, but it's okay. It's still working. I feel like it's going onto the hot glue really well. Sealing wax, it wasn't really going on too very well. So this is not exactly the same effect as a frame seal will give you, but it's similar. And so if you're like, I don't have a frame seal stamp, I'm not going to be getting one right now, then use a blank and try that out, and you can kind of get a similar effect, which is fun. We'll go all the way around. And you just have to get the whole rim of the seal so it looks nice. And it looks like there's a little bit of white peeking through on the bottom of this one. So I'm going to set it down. Ooh, try not to touch it. But that's how it's looking. You can try this one as well, kind of the pinkish one, and then we'll compare our favorites. I just noticed this little heart got bumped, so I need to move it before the glue sets more. It's a little high. That's okay. I think I like this one better so it contrasts the red a little bit. We'll go around and we'll just kind of flip. Let's see. So as a reminder, there's not going to be a live tomorrow, because that's for my Script and Seal Society members. We have our own live, we're going to be doing Valentine candies to make Valentine candy boxes, which will be really fun with my friend, Mrs. Maddie Bakes. So we won't be doing this, but we'll be back. I'll be back on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday for the rest of our 3 days. So not tomorrow, but the rest of the week, yes. And tomorrow's, or sorry, so I did get some here. And that just wiped off my finger with the paper towel. So that means I do need to kind of fix this side where I smudged it. So the one thing I don't love about these is I don't love that they're not shiny. It definitely dries as like matte, which maybe is okay. It just depends, I guess, on what you're going for. You can see I got a little bit of white there. Okay. But I still think fun, and also just to show you that it doesn't have to be a frame seal. So now we need to vote on our favorite ones. Okay. Sorry, it's overcast today, so it's like a little dark. But let me move some things out of the way so there's not too much shadow. Okay, so the seals that we did today, we have first number 1, which I think are my favorite, are these ones. So they're just a colored frame with the paper backing. So those ones turned out really cute. We have number 2, which were these ones, which actually I do like the frame better than the blank with the matte coloring. So we did those ones. Then we did these ones that have our little gem on them. And then we have our round ones. So let me know which one you like best. Number 1, the colored frame with our printable. Number 2, painted frame with the printable. Number 3, our gems. Or number 4, our blank stamp set. This one I feel like works. I don't love it though. Something about the edging. And maybe I need to not care that it's like matte. I don't know. I think I like these ones the best. Let me know what you think. 3, which is with the charms. Number 1, 3, 1 and 3, 1 and 2, 3. The charm ones are fun, huh? 1. And so I think it would be fun to do like how we did like a little collection, a little mix. Like you could totally mix these together to make a little set of seals, kind of mix and match, which would be fun. So don't forget, let me make myself regular size again. So don't forget the deals of the day. I'm going to email it out, but if you want any of these deals, I would buy them now because as soon as the email goes out, they will be gone very fast. But those that are here can get them first. So this stamp is the Bows and Stripe stamp that's so cute. It's 20% off, so it's only $16 today, which is such a good deal, and it's such a cute Valentine stamp. And then the Candy Red Wax is more than 20% off. It's $9 today instead of $12. So those are the deals of the day. So I'm going to have more deals of the day for the rest of the week, which will be really fun. So make sure to grab those if you would like. And then I'll send out an email a little later today that has the replay of this. And I'm going to find the links for some of the different things that I had used, the tools, the gems and things. So I'll add that on the YouTube video so that you can go back and access those later. Can you use chocolate chips, like melt chocolate chips to give it a stamp? I think that's what you're asking. You can. So I've done it with chocolate chips and it's not going to work as well. You're going to get more bubbles in it and it's not as good of a consistency. But if you use like baking chocolate, like good quality baking chocolate, like Ghirardelli, that works pretty well. The thing with doing that, I have a whole YouTube video about making chocolate seals. But the thing with chocolate seals is temperature is key. So you're pouring onto like a metal baking pan that's been in the freezer with parchment paper. Your stamps have to have been in the freezer. Pour your chocolate, press it, put it back in the freezer, let it set, and then you can take them out. And it's going to work best if you do I just blanked on the type of chocolate. It's like the technique that makes it so it will snap, but I forgot the name of it. But anyway, I have a YouTube video about it, so you can watch the whole thing, but you can do the chocolate chips, but um, I would say a baking chocolate is going to be better quality and work better. So thank you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and plan not tomorrow, but Wednesday will be our next one, 1:30 p.m. And we're going to be using the printable. So let me just show you for day 2. This is the base of the card. And then we're going to be making like a shaker. We've done this in my Script and Seal Society too, but Halloween versions. I was in the Halloween mode, I guess, when I chose these projects, but and we're going to make little wax seals that are part of the shaker thing. So anyway, it'll be really cute and fun. And so I'll share that printable via email and also the day of. So thank you guys so much, and I'll plan on seeing you guys on Wednesday.